You ever get that feeling that your house is trying to tell you something? Well, it is. There's this hidden language flowing through the wires behind your walls. Today, we're going to decode it because, let's be honest, understanding these signals is super important for your safety.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You fire up the microwave and, for just a second, the kitchen lights dim. It's so easy to just shrug it off as a funny little quirk of an old house. But what if it's not a quirk? What if it's actually a signal of something way more serious happening just out of sight?
Okay, so let's put on our detective hats. First things first, we're going to uncover the most critical warning signs. You got to think of these as the clues your electrical system is sending out when it's really in trouble.
And what's really fascinating here is how sensory these clues are. We're talking about things you can literally smell, hear, and feel. A burning smell from an outlet, a buzzing sound from your electrical panel, a switch that's hot to the touch. These are not small things. A breaker that trips all the time isn't just annoying, it is screaming at you that it's overloaded. And sparks from an outlet is basically your house making an emergency call. These are urgent signals that you've got to pay attention to.
Here's a really great way to think about it. Your home's electrical system is basically its nervous system, right? It's sending power and information absolutely everywhere. And all those signs we just talked about, those are pain signals. They're telling you loud and clear that the whole system is under some serious stress and it just can't handle the pressure.
So, we've spotted the symptoms, but what's the actual disease? To figure that out, we have to dig a little deeper, uncover the secrets hiding behind the outlets. Let's investigate the real culprits, the root causes of all that stress.
And wow, this first one is a biggie. If your house was built somewhere between 1965 and 1973, you could be living with a ticking time bomb. See, back then, aluminum wiring was used to save a little money, but we now know it expands and contracts a ton with heat, way more than copper. This constant wiggling makes the connections at your outlets and switches get loose, and a loose connection creates intense heat, which is a massive fire hazard. It's exactly why copper is the non-negotiable standard for safety today.
Another huge issue is just a simple mismatch in time. A lot of older homes have electrical panels that were built for life in the 60s, a TV, a fridge, a few lights. That was it. But today, we've got central air, huge TVs, computers, and now we're even adding EV chargers. Pushing all that demand through an old 60 or 100 amp panel, it's like trying to drink from a fire hose through a tiny coffee straw. The system just overheats, the breakers trip all the time, and the fire risk, well, it goes way up.
And believe it or not, the list of hidden dangers keeps going. You might have super old knob and tube wiring that doesn't even have a safety ground. Or your home could be missing two critical safety gadgets, GFCIs, which stop you from getting a deadly shock near water, and AFCIs, which prevent fires by detecting dangerous sparks inside your walls. And you really have to be aware of certain brands of panels, like Federal Pacific or Zinsco. They're infamous for failing to do the one job they have, shutting off when there's a problem.
Okay, so we've seen the symptoms and we've diagnosed the possible causes. So, what's the cure? For that, we've got to turn to the professional's playbook and see how the experts solve these mysteries, safely and most importantly, for good.
A real pro doesn't just guess. They follow a very specific process. First, they diagnose. They use cool, high-tech tools like thermal cameras to literally see dangerous hotspots behind your walls. Then comes the repair, which is always done according to strict safety codes, no cutting corners. And finally, and this part is absolutely crucial, they test everything. They verify that the system isn't just working again, but that it's completely and totally safe.
And that really gets to the heart of it. If your breaker keeps tripping, just flipping it back on is kind of like hitting the snooze button on a fire alarm. A professional electrician isn't there to hit snooze. They're there to figure out why the alarm is going off in the first place and to solve that root cause, making sure the problem is actually fixed.
All right, let's bring all this home. Let's talk about what you can do right now. We're going to walk through your own personal safety check. Some really clear, simple things you can do to see what's going on in your own house. So here it is. Run through this little checklist. Actually go and look at your outlets. See any discoloration? Next time the house is quiet, listen for any weird buzzing sounds from your panel. And just notice, how often are you trekking down to the basement to flip a breaker? And definitely check your home's age. If you're answering yes to any of these, or if your house is over 40 years old, it is absolutely time to think about a professional inspection.
And just remember this. Electrical problems do not fix themselves. They only get worse, like a line of dominoes just waiting for a nudge. Taking action when you see those early warning signs is the single most important thing you can do to prevent a devastating fire or a really expensive repair bill down the road.
So, I'll leave you with this final thought.
This isn't just about whether your home is safe right now. With smart homes, electric cars, and our energy needs just growing and growing, the real question is your home's electrical system, its nervous system, is it actually ready for the future?